It was a quiet Sunday afternoon. The air was warm, and Emma, my 8-month pregnant wife, sat on the porch, cradling her swollen belly as she sipped her iced tea. Everything felt peaceful until I heard the sound of tires screeching outside. I rushed to the window and saw two men in full tactical gear, with HOA badges on their uniforms, striding toward our house. Something didn't feel right. These weren't just any HOA officers. They had an urgency in their step, a coldness in their eyes that sent a chill down my spine. My instinct screamed at me to act. I ran outside, just as one of the men shouted at Emma, "You violated HOA rules by placing that swing too far into the communal area. This is your final warning." Before she could respond, he shoved her roughly, and she gasped in pain. I watched as he twisted her arm behind her back, causing her to cry out in agony. Without thinking, I charged at them. I grabbed the first man by the shoulder and threw him to the ground, knocking the wind out of him. The second man, his eyes wide with surprise, reached for his gun. That was my breaking point. I grabbed my Glock 19 from its holster. I didn't hesitate. I aimed and fired. The first shot rang out, and the man with the gun staggered back. I fired again and then again. The sound of gunshots filled the air, and the man crumpled to the ground, his weapon falling from his hand. The other man, still stunned by what had just happened, barely had time to react. I emptied the magazine into him, each shot landing with precision. He fell to the ground without a sound. I rushed to Emma's side, heart racing, and pulled her into my arms. Her arm was bruised, twisted, but she was alive. She trembled in my arms, tears streaming down her face. The sight of her pain, the terror she felt, it all hit me like a freight train. Neighbors were already peeking through their windows, some reaching for their phones. But in that moment, none of it mattered. I had protected my family. These men weren't cops. They were imposters, and they paid for their arrogance. My family was safe, and no one would touch us again. Not ever.